Okay, so there's some properties of squares that you guys were assigned. So number one states JKLM is a square. So right away you know all the sides are equal to each other. So over here there is a 6x minus 7 and then a 5x plus 2. So those two are equal to each other. So what you can do is set them equal to each other, right? So you have find x and y. So these ones are color-coded, so you don't really have to do a whole lot. So you can, on your paper, just write out, there we go, 6x. Oop. This is my first time using this tablet, so excuse me as I try to figure this out. 6x minus I have that. There we go. Minus 7 is equal to 5x plus 2. Okay, so from there you can solve this equation. So find the two sides, find the x's, just like that. And so from there, you want to get the x's together. So from over here, I see 5 is smaller than that 6. So what I want to do is I want to subtract 5x from both sides, because that is going to be easier. I subtract 5 from both sides because this 5 right here has no sign in front. So that means that's positive. So that's why I'm going to subtract it. So 5 minus 5 is nothing. It's 0. So those will cross out. Okay. So I'm going to rewrite this whole statement right here and move the stuff down. So 6 minus 5 is 1x. So I'm just going to put x because there is only 1. Minus 7 equals, and then it looks like I just have 2 on this side. So again, I want to find that x, okay? So I only have 1 x left, so I don't have to move any other x's. I want to move this 7 over with the 2 because then I will be able to get x alone, and that was what one of the questions was. Find x. So I'm going to move my 7. To move it, I have to do the inverse or opposite. So over here, I'm going to put inverse, if I can write that. Inverse is equal to opposite. Okay, so get that in your mind. Inverse is equal to opposite. Okay, so if this is subtract 7, I'm going to just then add 7 to both sides. That is a weird looking 7. So negative 7 plus 7 will be 0. Just like 5 minus 5 is 0, negative 7 plus 7 is 0. Okay, it's just like as if we flipped those, right? So then I can reduce it again. X is equal to 2 plus that weird looking 7. So 2 plus 7 is 9. So x is equal to 9 for this equation, okay? So I'm going to put this up here, x equals 9, and then I'm going to erase all this again. And now that I'm a little bit better at using this, I can then complete finding my y. So now I want to find my y. Well, just like these on the outside are equal to each other, the transversals on the inside are also equal to each other. This line right here cuts it through and makes it perpendicular. So this right here is creating a 90-degree angle. So that means this 2y plus 13 is equal to 4y minus 7. Okay, so they're equal to each other as well. So that's a very key thing that you're going to want to remember for your tests and for the final exam. For Mia, stop barking. For geometry. So I'm going to come over here again, and my dog is barking. Mia, stop. And I'm going to fill out the equation again. So 4y minus 7, a weird looking 7, is equal to 2y plus 13. Okay, and again, I'm going to solve by finding my two sides, underlining my y's, just like that, and I'm going to move the easier y. I say it's easier to move the smaller of the two or the negative one. If they're both negative, then you can move the smaller one, if that makes any sense. But I like to move my smaller number just because it is easier for me, at least. But you can move whichever one you want. Okay, so I'm going to move the 2. So this is a positive because there's nothing in front of it. If there's a negative with that equal sign, it would be a negative, but there's nothing in front, so it's a positive. So I'm going to subtract 2y from both sides, and those will cross out just like that. So I'm going to simplify and then bring things down. So 4 minus 2 is 2y minus 7 equals 13. Okay, so again, I have a y right here. I have a negative 7 and a 13. So for me, it makes more sense to get this alone and move this first. If I try to move this 2, I'm going to have a really big headache trying to move the 2 with the 7 at the same time. So I'm going to move the 7 first because it's just going to be a whole lot easier, truthfully. So I'm going to add 7 to both sides. If I can get my tablet to work again. Uh-oh. It stopped working. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to add 7 to both sides because that's the inverse of negative 7. Oh, now it's not working. There we go. And those will cross each other out. So again, bringing stuff down. So 13 plus 7. So 7 plus 3, 7, 8, 9, 10 gives me 0. And that gives you a 1 right there. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So that's an easy way to start adding if you have a hard time with adding in your mind. So now I have a 2 and y, but it said to solve for y alone. So I want to divide by 2. Now, it doesn't really say what 2 and y are doing, but whenever you see 2x or 2, oh, come on. Oh, now it's doing something weird. Okay, 2y. Okay, now it's just doing weird stuff. Okay, whenever you see 2x or 2y, these are being multiplied together. So what you're going to want to do is divide by both sides, and that will get rid of that 2. 2 divide 2 is, let's see if I can do it from here. No, I can't. Okay. Is 1. Oh, nope, it's freaking out. Yep, nope, okay. Is 1, so you have just y left over. And then 20 divide 2 is 10. So you have an answer for y. So the answer for this one would be x equals 9 and y equals 10.